Hey everybody, welcome to the Ronline Report. We're joined once again with one of the most accomplished classic physique pros in the game, runner-up at the Olympia twice in a row, Chris Bumstead, joining us from somewhere in Canada, I believe. Yes, Chris?
Yeah, I'm up in Ottawa right now, but happy to be here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you're all over the place lately.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Before we get to what's going on with you lately, I just want to recap quickly. And for the full story on this, everybody, go to his YouTube channel, which is Chris Bumstead, or is it Christopher? Chris Bumstead?
Chris Bumstead, yeah.
Chris Bumstead. He explained it all in a very teary, emotional video. No, it was cool. Chris had a horrible health problem that 99.9% of anyone else getting ready for the Olympia would have bailed on the Olympia. Not only did you do the Olympia, you didn't tell anybody until the Olympia was long gone, which, man, props to you. I would have been bitching and moaning to everyone who would have listened. You know, the guy in the corner, I would have tapped him on the shoulder. So just to recap real quickly, this was, what is the actual name of the condition that you found out you had?
So it's called IgA nephropathy, or Berger's disease, and it's technically a immune disease that kind of affects your kidneys. It attacks your kidneys.
Okay. And have you always had this, or is this something that developed over the last few years?
It's something that, it's something you are born with. So he said I've had it forever, but it flares up at random times in your life.
Wow.
So about 5 years ago, I had a flare-up of it. And when it did, I was put in the hospital, and it was the same kind of thing. It was a little bit worse last time, to be honest. But they didn't know. They had no idea what caused it. They had no idea what it was. They had an idea, so they gave me the right meds that kind of helped it.
Okay.
But they had no idea what it was until this time. They ran a few more tests and finally figured out the actual cause of it. And it was the exact same thing as last time, and it's something I've had my whole life. So
the main effect that would concern a physique competitor is massive water retention, right?
visually, yeah. But there's also the kidney stress. If you let it go on for too long, you can go into kidney failure, like dialysis at a certain point like that. So it can get serious if you don't take care of it.
So did you notice it visually, or did you feel something was wrong, or was it kind of all happened at the same time?
I noticed it visually first, for sure, like holding onto a lot of water, especially my shins. If you've seen those videos poking my shin, I had like an inch of water all over my lower legs at one point, and just I knew I was dieting. I was at a deficit of calories. I was training hard, doing my cardio and everything, and my weight just wasn't budging. At one point, it started to go up, so I knew something was wrong.
And I mean, you were probably not eating a ton of sodium, so you should not have been retaining loads of fluid, right?
Exactly, yeah. And I was flying around a lot. I was flying a lot at the time, so I wasn't sure if altitude changed. So I was reducing sodium in my diet to make sure that it wasn't making it worse or anything. So there were no other factors that could have caused it. So
this flare-up, it happened right at about 4 weeks out from the Olympia?
Well, I'd say it started around 7-ish. But then I just had a little bit of water retention in my shins. Nothing crazy. Like sometimes you have a crazy cheat meal after a show and you get a little swollen ankles and whatnot. It was kind of like that. But it was around 4 weeks out when it got so bad that I brought myself to the hospital.
Now, psychologically, were you I would have been shitting bricks. I would have been in crying, panic mode. Were you in panic mode?
I honestly stayed pretty calm the whole time. I'm a pretty calm person, and you have a problem, you deal with it, and whatever happens, kind of my mindset. But of course I had moments where I was shitting my pants and I was scared. I didn't know what was going to go on. For a while in the hospital, I forgot about competing, and I was just worried I was going to be okay. Then I got to the point where if I not only compete at this show, but if I could ever compete again, what caused it, I didn't know. So luckily, speaking to the doctors, they said it was something we can manage and we can deal with, and just unlucky to be born with it.
So I remember from your video, you were in the hospital over 2 days. Was that right? Trying to get this figured out?
I was in there for 5 days. Yeah.
5 days. Oh my
Yeah.
God, dude. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
So you missed several meals in that time, right?
Quite a bit, yeah. Of course, I was eating a lot less, and I reduced my protein because the doctors were saying when your kidneys are inflamed, protein can put more stress on them and whatnot. But Ian, brother-in-law, and my sister were coming to visit me, and they were bringing Tupperware as a food. So.
Wow. But you're 4 weeks out from the Olympia to be in the hospital for 5 days while they're trying to figure out your health situation. Wow.
Yeah.
Were you ever tempted to bail out of the show?
I thought about it a few times. The worst I started thinking about it was when I was out of the hospital and I was still trying to train and I still wasn't looking very good and I hadn't gotten the results back from the test from anything, and I was just like kind of asking myself, is this all worth it? Am I even going to look good? Am I going to get to the day and look like shit anyways and not want to step on stage? So I definitely had my moments where I wanted to give up, but I don't know, deep down something just told me that you can get through it, you can keep pushing, and I did.
And from the videos, I recall your sister and your brother-in-law, they played a huge role in helping you get to the Olympia, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, my sister's always been a huge support system for me. She just like knows me better than myself, can tell how I'm acting, how I'm feeling. So just she's always been there for me. And Ian, especially this prep, he was texting me every single morning, changing my diet every day. We were trying everything we could to get water off. He was the one person the whole time, like, we can do this. Like, we'll get through it. We'll be fine. We can do it. He was the one who was always like sure that we could do it. So having that kind of support and confidence behind me really helped a lot.
Cool. So is this something you have to take meds for? You can manage this so you never get another flare-up as long as you keep taking a certain medication?
Well, you can never say that you'll never get another flare-up, but the medication right now is only because of the flare-up. So what I'm taking is actually suppressing my immune system, is what it does, because it was attacking itself. Yeah. So it's a really strong med that like stops your immune system from working essentially, so that kidneys can relax and the inflammation can go down and all that. And then once that happens, I wean off the medication, and then it's more avoiding any kind of stressors that could cause it. So like eating too bad, like really shitty foods. A big thing that I've been studying a lot about it, and a big thing is nutrition, kind of worrying about your gut health, all that kind of stuff. So they're little things that you can do to avoid it, but you never know if there will be a flare-up or not.
But do you have to do anything with your protein intake, or that has no bearing on it?
Well, when it's inflamed, they told me to reduce it, so I've gone down to like a quarter of the protein I normally eat right now, pretty much. Cut out a lot of meat, kind of doing the alternative protein sources and stuff like that. But afterwards, I should be able to go back to normal. And it's going to be mainly keeping up to date with like urine and blood tests and stuff like that, and making sure that my kidneys are working properly. And then if ever they start to go out of whack, we'll be able to see before the flare-up gets too bad that they're starting to get sick again, and then we can take care of it.
Now, you made a post showing you leg pressing, and you mentioned this particular medication does have some side effects in your is it like weakness? Is it lack of energy? What does it do to you?
Well, there's a list, like an endless list of side effects for this med. There's a lot of stuff.
Like all
but some of them, yeah, exactly. There's like water retention and weight gain kind of stuff. So
water retention?
It's weird. It's weird. It's water retention in your abdomen and your lower back and your face. So like moon face is what they call it. And then muscle loss is one of them. Bone density loss is another one. There's insomnia. It can cause like anger and aggravation, like mental problems, anxiety, stuff like that. Yeah. Jeez. So
I bet I'll try to keep my questions.
I've been good with those ones so far. I think those are usually the kind of thing where if you already are an angry person, it can make you more and stuff like that. Yeah. But the insomnia and muscle loss and stuff like that, I've definitely been experiencing. So. But
you're going to wean off this medication soon, anyway, right?
I think I have another 6 weeks on it.
Oh, okay. I mean, this would have been some downtime anyway after the show, I would imagine.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about the show briefly for a second. I mean, I thought you looked really good. I heard I was in the press pit, and people were making little comments like, oh, he's holding a little water and this and that. You know, knowing the situation that you're in, I can't believe you looked as good as you did. You know, were you shocked that you were still able to pull off? I'd say you were 90, 97, 98% of 2017, but with some improvements to your back and your arms. Basically, that's what I saw.
I mean, I think I was a lot less than 97%. My coach even at one point said he thought I was around 80% of what I should have been.
Wow.
But looking at some of the pictures, I'm like, I don't like comparing them to last year because I really like coming in very dry and very shredded. That's the look I like to bring. Yeah. But I mean, considering the circumstances, I literally couldn't have walked away happier. After prejudging, when I got first call out and they pushed back me and Breon, I said this in my video too, I was happy. I was like, this is done. I could leave happy right now. Like, that was enough of an accomplishment for me, just have gotten on the stage and proven that I still deserve to be there. So I've definitely, given the circumstances, I don't think it could have gone any better.
I mean, after the judging, did you go look at any of the reports and posts about people talking, and you saw that they were saying, oh, his condition is off, he's holding water. And the whole time you must have been going crazy thinking, obviously I'm holding water. I have this kidney issue that nobody knows about. I was in the hospital. Yeah. You a-holes. I mean, were you tempted at any time during before the show was even over to let people know what was going on so they would shut up?
Not really, no. I've never been bothered by comments and stuff like that, and I saw a few of the comments. I wasn't looking too much at it. Like I said, I was honestly like just so happy that I had accomplished what I accomplished already, and regardless, I was spending the time with my family. We were all proud of me, and I was enjoying it. Those comments don't bother me too much.
Good. So the top three was identical in 2018 to what it had been the year before, which, considering how much the division has grown and how many really good new pros came out of Classic and were in the lineup this year, I was pretty surprised that you guys were able to hold them all off. Were you pretty amazed that the top three was identical?
Not really, no, to be honest, because the caliber of Breon and George bring is just like, it's not something that someone can just jump into in a year. That's something, the new guys coming up, they will creep into the top three, absolutely. I think there are some people that can do it, but I don't think anyone could do that in a year given the caliber of Breon and George. They're both kind of older competitors, and they're kind of, I think both of them are pretty peaked. They come in just full, dense, dry every single time, and it's something that's other people are going to have to work a little longer for.
So I just asked Breon who he thinks out of those guys is most likely to start moving up into the top 5, top 3 over the next couple of years. I'm curious, who do you see on the horizon coming up?
I can see Henri staying up there for a while, definitely. I think I can see David Hoffman moving up a bit.
Yeah.
I'm kind of biased to all the tall guys, but David Hoffman he's a tall, big guy. He comes in peeled all the time. So probably those two, I'd say.
I thought you were going to say Wesley Vissers, no? I thought you liked all the tall guys. Oh, well.
I do, but I think he's got a lot of time to kind of get up there. He's a young guy, too, so.
You're all young. It's like the young division, basically.
It is.
So what did you do after the show? I mean, you didn't do any more contests. Did you have a lot of appearances and commitments for MHP to get to?
Like right just a few days after, you mean?
No, look, what have you been doing since the Olympia? I guess that's how I should have prefaced that question.
I honestly didn't really have much. I had a few guest posings and stuff like that, but I had to cancel them because, like I said, when I came back, I literally put my protein to a quarter. I was eating like 1,800 calories a day, pretty much, just like barely any food. I didn't train for a couple days, stuff like that. Like, I've technically, my weight is like my stage weight right now, but I'm not nearly that lean. So like, what I'm gauging is I probably lost about 20 pounds right now, and I'm not really fit for appearances or photo shoots or anything like that. So I had to cancel a few though. I had one I was supposed to be in Alaska this last weekend. I had to cancel, but so all I've really done is this past weekend I was in Toronto for Gymshark, just for a pop-up store big event. Yep. We were down there for about a week just because I could wear a hoodie and kind of just hang out, and I could drive there. Because another thing they told me during the flare-up, I shouldn't be flying too much, getting on planes. So luckily this event was in Toronto. I just drove.
So we got a video up with you and Victor Martinez training arms. Was that before the Olympia or after the Olympia?
Yeah, that was like a few months before. That's an old.
Yeah. I was gonna say, wow, you could have fooled me. I didn't think you were any smaller there. I thought you looked great. But, yeah, tell me about you've got a couple new sponsors, which is pretty cool. They're almost, I want to say, more mainstream than Gymshark is like mainstream fitness wear, right?
They're a little bit more mainstream, yeah.
But I mean, how did that happen? Is it because you have that, more of a look that appeals to regular people rather than just meatheads?
I guess so. I guess it's because I'm kind of that combo that Classic Physique allows us to be a little bit more appealing to the mainstream people. We're still bigger than most, obviously, but it's still more appealing. And I'm still 23, and I'm very young in this league and stuff. A lot of the mainstream people are much a younger crowd and all that. And it's kind of it's the image that I like. It's what I like to portray. I know some of my followers are honestly like disappointed in me for signing with Gymshark because they thought I should have gone with a more hardcore bodybuilding brand, but
a Gasp or something.
Exactly, yeah. But I guess those are followers that don't really follow me because that's not who I am. I'm not the hardcore bodybuilder. I still like live a pretty balanced lifestyle. Yes, I train hard and I eat hard, but I still kind of have a life. I have a real life outside of bodybuilding. I don't hang out with only bodybuilders. Most of my friends don't even really train that hard. I have a few best friends that train, but none of them are really into competing except for one. So,
well, let's say, Gasp. I'm kind of disappointed because I never looked like Branch Warner or Johnny Jackson when I put their shit on for some reason. Probably wouldn't look like you if I put Gymshark stuff on either. I guess that's just how clothing goes. So are you taking a little break from like training and eating 6 times a day right now?
Yeah, like I said, I've cut my calories back. Initially, they were down to like 1,800, but I've been putting them up a bit more now. And training has been just kind of lightweight, using mainly machines and stuff. I can't really. That's not really my fault. Like, just my strength is going down from eating and all that kind of stuff. So I've just kind of taking it easy on training. I still get in the gym probably 5, 6 times a week, but nothing too intense.
I mean, when was that? You put it on your Instagram with a flannel shirt, pressing all kinds of crazy heavy dumbbells. That wasn't recent?
Oh yeah, that was only a few weeks ago.
No, so you
But
should.
I used to be able to do that for like 20. I got it for like 8 this time. So
Okay. Yeah, you should coin this. Your copyright this phrase, flanabolic.
anabolic.
Did you come up with that?
I did, yeah. That was a few years ago. I did that actually when I was in university. I used to always train in a plaid, and I came up with that back then.
Flanabolic, because the flannel makes the workout more anabolic. Okay?
Exactly.
Don't
Canadian.
Canadian. Yeah, I would associate it with more Canadian bodybuilders. Greg Kovacs used to train in big flannels all the time. The sleeves cut off, of course.
Oh yeah.
What else I want to ask you? Yeah, so these meds will be done fairly soon, and you get back to real, normal training and eating and all that. So you did the Olympia, you qualified already for next year's Olympia, but you've never done the Arnold Classic. I know they would love to have Christopher Bumstead on their stage. It's still early, but what are you thinking? Pluses and minuses in your head about Arnold Classic in March?
Arnold is definitely something I think is probably a little bit too soon. Like I don't think I'll be back to 100%, like starting to get back to 100% of my training till January, and then that will take me a few time to get back to where I should be.
Okay.
Like my off-season weight, I usually try and be 250, 255. So I'll probably won't be back at that till like February time if I'm lucky, and then that only gives me a month until the Arnold. So I think that'll be cutting it too close. And after not being 100% on stage at the Olympia, I don't want to step on stage again until I know I can be at my best. So if I did do another show around the Olympia, it would be more maybe like a big show like New York or something like that. I know my coach has expressed it might be a good idea to show face maybe on stage before the Olympia again. But after this show, initially my first thought was I'm taking a full year off and I'm doing it again. I'm showing up next year at the Olympia and I'm giving it 100% and I'm taking it kind of thing. But we're kind of debating whether or not I should pop in another show, but I'm not really deciding that until January.
Because, I mean, if you do New York, you're going to have to start prepping again in like March anyway, basically.
I can keep it pretty lean, good, especially because I'm close to my weight cap. I know I'd be able to balance it, but it's a game plan we're going to have to discuss.
Just one question about Ian. I thought Ian looked fantastic at the Olympia, and he did place. If a couple guys didn't place at all, they tied for 16th, as we like to call it. But do you think? Did you watch the judging for the Olympia in the finals? Did you think Ian could have been a little higher, maybe?
I think he could have been a little bit, for sure. I mean, again, I might be biased, but there was a few people that he didn't even step beside or he wasn't put in line with at all that I was like, if Ian was standing beside him, he would look better. When I was watching, I definitely thought that. But, I mean, again, being 27 in his first year at the Olympia, it's pretty amazing that he's there at all and that he plays. And I know he was happy with that. But personally, there was a few guys I would have liked to see him beside at least to compare, for sure.
So when you look at the pictures, I know because your condition wasn't as good as you wanted it, you probably weren't able to assess the improvements that you made as well as you might have had you been, drier and tighter with everything in bold relief. But where did you see? Were you able to see substantial improvements in the areas that you wanted to?
I think I did a little bit just in the overall flow of my physique. Everything seemed to look more balanced this time. Yeah. My arms have come up a little bit. My back came up a little bit. My legs were about the same, but they were my hamstrings, I think, kind of came up, whereas my quads stayed the same. And I think looking at my physique, everything looked balanced. Whereas last year, at least at Toronto especially, I had really big legs, small arms, kind of a flat chest, stuff like that I noticed. So overall balance, I think, came up. And given another year, I think I can do that even a lot more.
So what will the focus of your training be? Will it still be back and arms, or have you reevaluated?
Definitely still back and arms, yeah. I mean, being first and third, having George and Breon, some of the best backs in the entire game right now. Yeah. I'm going to have to keep working on this back forever. But if I can bring that up to be at least closer to theirs and then smoke them in the other poses, I think I have a good chance.
I mean, if they say contests are won from the back, and for you to hold your own with those two guys and to beat George with, George's back is like twice as thick as pretty much everybody else is up there.
Yeah.
It's a lot thicker even than Breon's. It's like a little Ronnie Coleman. I wouldn't even say little. I mean, he's about 200 pounds on stage with slabs of muscle on his back. So
Yeah.
to your credit, you were able to still do as well as you did with a
Mhm.
couple back monsters up there.
Classic too. There is only the one back pose as opposed to
That's
the
right.
two. A
That's
little
right.
different.
So what are some of your goals? What do you have going on in your head planning out for next year? I know the year is not even done yet. We still have a couple months left, but this is some downtime for you, so it gives you time to reflect, I imagine.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, like goals, competing wise, or just like life wise, or what do you mean?
Let's have them both. I mean, you got the famous picture. Check out the CBum. I thought the best post that you've made on your Instagram in the last like 6 months was the one with holding the apple in the apple orchard.
Oh,
It was like a corny way of talking about how you might pick your next girlfriend or something. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Try to find the sweet girl or something. Yeah.
hilarious. I like that you're corny. You're not afraid to be corny.
Oh, of course. Gotta laugh at yourself.
So yeah, let's put them both. Whatever you're willing, however personally you're willing to get. Personal goals, career, competitive. I know you won the Olympia. That's pretty much. I think we all know that's your competitive goal. So what
Yeah.
else? What else do you want to do?
Yeah, for sure. Competing Olympia next year, move up that one spot. Personal goals more like that. Definitely want to travel a lot more this year. I've never left North America, so some of my sponsors are kind of talking about doing some more international travel where I can kind of get a combo of meeting a lot of my fans. I know some of my biggest fan bases are overseas, kind of like Australia, United Kingdom, stuff like that. From like the analytics I see on social media, so I'd love to get out there and be able to meet some more fans. And I've always wanted to actually be able to travel, so if I have a few months of downtime from recovering from this, and like my body can't be at 100% training, I might try and take advantage and say I'm brought down to Australia or something. I'll take off like 3 weeks and just kind of explore around down there,
Oh wow!
stuff like that.
I'm calling it right now. Gerard Denty, are you watching? Send him to the Arnold Classic Australia. They're going to have lines wrapped around the building for him. Send him to FIBO in Germany. They're going to eat him up over in Europe. They're going to love this kid. And you'll meet thousands and thousands of new fans and build your fan base even more, which you deserve. You're a good guy. So, Chris has an appointment. We knew this going into the interview, and I'm a man of my word. I wanted to get his thoughts on the Olympia, a quick update. Anything else, any other news or anything else that you want to get out there, Chris?
No, I don't think so. Covered most of it, really.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you doing this.
Of
Looking
course.
forward to watching you bounce back from this little bump in the road. That's all it is. You're a young guy, fantastic physique. You'll be right back on top of your game in no time, guarantee you. So
Absolutely.
cool. Thanks for this, and everybody, thanks for watching. Ronline Report with Classic Physique champion Chris Bumstead.